As many of you know, I've been working on my first indie game on the Wind's Breath for over 2 years now, with, of course, a few breaks along the way. However, what most of you don't realize is just how rough this project was when I first started, so let's dive in and take a look at just how much has changed. First of all, let's talk about forgiveness, or rather the complete lack of it in the early versions of the game. I'm gonna be blunt, the game was just brutal. One mistake and you were instantly sent back to the last checkpoint. And let me tell you, I heard it over and over again. It's not fun, it doesn't feel right, it doesn't feel fair. And I knew I had to fix it. So I introduced a system that allows a little more leniency. Now, when you touch the ground, which you're not supposed to do, the game increases a taps counter that resets upon death or reaching a checkpoint. Once you exceed a certain amount of taps, different for each level, you get reset. Simple as that. But I didn't stop there, I added another layer. Time. If you tap the ground briefly, you're fine, but if you stay grounded for a quarter of a second, you're reset. The difference? In the old version, even a slight mistake meant instant death. In the new version, you have a small window of error, making it feel much more forgiving and fair, while still maintaining the challenge. Next, let's talk about physics. Right now, On the Wind's Breath relies on actual physics equations. It doesn't just use Unity's built-in physics. I apply additional forces in multiple directions to create a more natural and flowy movement. But back in the first prototype, it was awful. Movement was based on a single force applied in the direction of motion with a speed cap. The player's rotation wasn't physics-based at all. It simply snapped wherever direction you were moving, no momentum, no flow, just stiff robotic movement. Comparing them side by side, the difference is night and day. And, just for fun, I decided to leave that old version in as an Easter egg so players can see how far the game has come. Storytelling has also come a long way. In the first version, I simply displayed lore and text in the background, not a great way to engage players, and I had a lot of feedback that it wasn't readable in the slightest. Since then, I've gone through 10 iterations of different text display methods. I'm gonna just roll them through on the screen right now. And now the game features a dynamic text box that presents lore line by line, making it much more immersive. And let's talk about level and animations. Originally, they were rushed and low quality, but after working with talented artists and purchasing high quality asset packs, they look so much better now. And then there's post-processing. If you compare early screenshots to the latest version, you'll immediately notice how much more refined the visuals are. The new post-processing effects create a stronger separation between layers, giving the game a more intense and polished aesthetic. Honestly, looking back, it's wild how much was missing. Lore barely existed, now it's a key part of the experience. Main menu used to be just a single play button, now it's fully fleshed out. And animations and extra art, non-existent. Now the game is full of movement and beautiful visuals. And here's a silly detail from the original prototype. If you moved back just a few meters from the start and touched a specific flower, boom! Instant teleportation to the end of the game. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's not a thing anymore. So, why am I sharing all of this? Because game development is a journey. If you look at your first prototype and think it's terrible, good. It is. But that also means that you have the room to improve. You don't need a perfect game from day one. What matters is that you start, keep iterating, keep learning, and keep refining, because every rough beginning has the potential to evolve into something amazing. Thanks for sticking around, and I can't wait for all of you to experience On the Wind's Breath when it's ready. Let me know in the comments what part of game dev you struggle with the most. I'll make sure to reply to all of your comments.